Autumn Nations Cup final between England and France. It goes to extra time, golden point, and it's England 22 points to 19. That's not how it was supposed to go according to the script, with France sending across a less than full strength side. But either that shows England maybe not quite performing to their optimum level on the day, or maybe France has got a bit more depth than we maybe give them credit for. Maybe a bit of both. I've just seen the game, delayed coverage. I will go through the key events of the game, some stats, and you guys let me know how you thought it went. So yeah, like I said, I watched it delayed, got up, made sure I turned off the radio, no spoiler. I did have the news on the TV on as I had my breakfast when the sports news came on. I did get a brief glimpse of Owen Farrell giving an interview, but his face always looks kind of depressed, so I didn't know whether he was conceding that he had lost the game and giving credit to the opponent or whether they'd won. So I managed to be pretty much spoiler free other than seeing Owen Farrell's face, which was good when I started to watch the game. Because it was a hell of a game, man. Pretty tentative start. There were a few kicks. Billy V smashed Raka in a big tackle, but he himself got pretty well tackled by Pacenti, the lock from France. So a big tentative start early. 4 minutes, France knock it on after their own defensive lineout means England gets an attacking scrum into 22. They win a scrum penalty early. Farrell kicks it 3-0 early to England. You're thinking, going according to the script. English forwards dominate the scrum. Farrell kicks the penalties, and they manage to keep the territory game in their own half, England, so it's going to be hunky-dory. Not quite that smooth, but 10 minutes, England have another shot at goal. It's kind of after back-to-back penalties. One with France attacking down the other end. They get penalised at the breakdown, so England kick into France's half. They have a line-out, and France concede another penalty at the line-out. So chance for England to go 6 points up. But Farrell misses the kick, a bit uncharacteristic. 14 minutes is the first try of the game. Probably the more attractive of the two tries, but in terms of the timing, that one was certainly more crucial. But either way, man, it's probably their first chance down in England's 22, you would say, for France. It's a line out to France on the 22-metre line of England. It's messy, but they managed to keep the ball to France. And Jalibert has a wee run. He kind of has a little inside step, jinking move. He beats Jamie George's tackle. And he, as he is falling, manages to get the ball to Dulin, who goes over for a try. And suddenly, with the conversion, it's 7 points to 3. Absolute wow moment. I'm floored. And yeah, totally game on at that time. 17 minutes, there is a bit of kicking back and forth. The fourth kick, Johnny May runs into the French lock. I think it was Pacenti again. Was it Ford or was it Farrell kicking it? Either way, they lined it up so that Johnny May would be in pursuit of the kick immediately from the moment it left the boot. He's got some proper gas. They ruled that the French lock changed his line to block Johnny May, and that's a penalty to England. So Daly takes the long shot, and it's 6 points to 7. So back to being a pretty tight one. To be honest, on 22 minutes, Youngs's pinpoint box kicking does need a bit of credit. I know people don't like the box kicking and it's getting a lot of negative press, but the way he does it, the way he can drop that ball just outside the 22 so you cannot mark it, and just inside the touchline so you've got virtually no angle to kick it back, is impeccable. However, even more credit goes to that man Dulin, who with no angle and just outside his own 22 manages to hoof it back the other end, one bounce into touch, so it's actually a kicking win to France. Proper little piece of skill from both players. I appreciated that because my commentary team was driving me nuts with, they're kicking it. Yeah, so there we go. That one was nice. 24 minutes, England lose their own line out around their own 22. There's a knock forward though, so it's a France scrum chance. Initially some good defence from England. They look to have turned the ball over, but they go back for a penalty because Underhill is ruled to have kicked the ball out of Kuyu's hands. I don't think he actively tried to kick it. I thought he was trying to put his foot in the way more so, but it was still the leg forced it to come out of his hands. So France kicked the penalty, and it's 10 points to 6. 34 minutes, England conceded a few penalties, actually. Their discipline was a bit poor. There's a high tackle. There's one for in at the side, and it's another chance for France. So it's 13 points to 6. 36 minutes, France... That was one of Doulan's few mistakes. They carry the ball, they pass it back into their own 22, so you can't kick it on the full, but Doulan kicks it straight out on the full, so it's an attacking chance for England in France's 7 metres out, man. It's like a proper good chance. And man, England go close countless times. I think at least 4 times you heard the referee, Andrew Brace, yell to the English guys, "You're short." Like, it's that close. Each time needs a decision to be made. Is that a try? Nah, you're short. They were keeping it in the forwards. They went about 13 phases. They wouldn't spin it to the backs. The camera angle wouldn't show how many defenders compared to attackers there were, because they were focused right in on the action. Commentary team that I had, despite them being frustrating at times, did say that there were men out wide if they'd flicked it to them, but man, the ball was so slow. Maybe credit to the French guys to slowing the ball down but not getting penalised. But such slow ball. Sometimes it was there, but England would set their little pods before going again. And it gave the French guys time to basically number up. Sometimes you would see, geez, there's only one man next to that ruck. If these 2 guys go over from England, it's going to be unstoppable. But by the time they got the ball to their hands, there would be 2 men there from France. A bit of a lost opportunity. Eventually, England knock it on. So, yeah, it was taking seconds, like multiple seconds. Not like 2-3 second rucks. It was 5-7 seconds. It was really slow ball. So that's how it goes into half-time. France are actually looking pretty good. Looking the business. Thinking, man, maybe an upset is on the cards here. 41 minutes. There's an early breakdown penalty conceded by France. England go for touch. They've got an attacking line-out. They go for maul. They go about 7 phases. They kick a high ball across. Farrell puts in a big old high ball into the French goal area. Watson competes for it, but he ends up knocking it on. So maybe another chance missed on another day if he takes that. And that was maybe kind of the theme of this game, eh? How many chances did England not take that they might have ordinarily taken? French putting them under pressure to cause errors. Bit of both. Interestingly, like a minute later, Launchbury and Underhill come off. They only play like 43 minutes. They are subbed, so big call from Eddie Jones. And on 46, England win another penalty for, I think it was Pacenti again being offside. So it's 13 points to 9. There's a bit of a kicking exchange a bit later. Again, my commentary team's just like, oh, they're playing kick tennis. But you could see the English kicks were kind of driving the French recipients of the kicks closer and closer to the sideline to reduce the angle they have to kick it with. Basically, the French guys are forced to make a poor kick back. So that was kind of disappointing that the commentary team didn't at least want to acknowledge that. It forced the French guys to try and run it back because they were kind of on the receiving end of that kicking duel. And Raka, he knocks it on. To be fair, it's a really bad pass from Jalibert. It's to his ankles. He knocks it on, so it's a proper good chance for England. They got a scrum. They're in the French 22. They get Watson seemingly free out in some space out wide, but they don't quite manage to execute the passes and draw the men as slickly as they could have. The French defence, again, is able to cover. So it's another missed chance for England. They do go back for a scrum penalty, so England have at least got a chance to pick up 3 points, having missed a potential 5. They missed the penalty again. It's uncharacteristic, man. I don't watch enough Saracens to know how Farrell's been going with his goal kicking, but it was pretty ordinary today. 53 minutes. England get another attacking line-out chance. That time, Woki, that man, he's really good at disrupting the English line-out. He's credited with at least 2 line-out steals in this game. He gets an important one there. Daly later on kicks it out on the full. He's being put under a bit of pressure from some of the French guys closing him down, and he makes the error. 57 minutes, France concede a penalty for a high tackle, and this one is the easiest kickable one of all. It's virtually straight in front, not even that far. And somehow Farrell manages to miss that one. Like, there's not many that I look and go, I maybe could have got that one. Like, I can kick him over from 22 if I just give it a toe hack. He missed that one. Uncharacteristic errors from England. On the hour mark, though, Jalibert goes off injured. The French defence holds out the English attacks again. They win turnover penalties. But I wrote a note, like, the French are hanging on for dear life. Like, the French didn't have virtually any ball or territory in this period of the second half. They've just been defending, and doing a really good job of it. Farrell has been missing the chances to take the kicks, and to their attack, maybe if it had been a bit sharper, might have found some chances to break, but the French guys were able to scramble in well enough. 69 minutes, France actually get a penalty in England's half, and they kick it. It's a great kick. Carbonell's come on, pressure kick, slots it, 16 points to 9. This is where you're thinking, man, France they could do this, because England have been knocking on the door down the other end and not managed to get bugger all. France have gone straight up the other end and picked up points. However, England did get their next 3. It was interesting they opted for the 3, but it proved a pretty wise move in the end. Pretty much in front, they kicked that one, 16 points to 12. But the French win the restart from that kick, which is already well into the 70th, like 73rd, 74th minute. They get advantage. Carbonell is lining up a shot at goal to make it 19-12. Like, there's bugger all time left in this game, and England need to score 7 points to just get a draw if Carbonell's kick goes over. My phone rings. It's my old man. Hello? It's like, oh, I'm going to the doctor. Oh, you alright? Yeah, just my leg. I need to get it checked. Oh, okay. England got pretty close, didn't they? Geez, they had a bit of a scare. Close call for England, actually. That's what he said. That was a close call for England. Spoiled. I said, I'm still watching it. He said, I won't say any more. You've said enough. So that was a bit disappointing because I was on the edge of my seat. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. The only way you can avoid the spoilers is to watch the bloody game live. So it's my own fault for not getting up at 2:50 in the morning to watch this game. Either way, Carbonell kicks it. It's 7-point lead for England. With a minute to go, they've got a line out 5 meters out. And it's a Cowan-Dickey try. If you're an Exeter Chiefs fan, you're all too familiar with that one. Great conversion from Farrell. He does manage to slot that one over. Cool, calm, and collected. 19 points apiece. They go into extra time. Now, I was kind of expecting the extra time to maybe be a bit dull, because I've seen extra time happen once in 2020, at least once, in a Super Rugby AU game between, I think it was the Queensland Reds and the Melbourne Rebels. And because they got the golden point idea from Rugby League, at least in Super Rugby AU, and in Rugby League, unless you make a mistake, you're pretty much guaranteed those 5 tackles before you need to kick it. So there's less pressure in your own half. And the two teams just basically kicked it to each other the whole time, and it was atrocious. It was literally just kick it long. I don't want to play down my half. Kick it long. So I was expecting maybe something similar, but it wasn't quite that bad. Both sides tried to play a bit more than that. Interestingly, France conceded a breakdown penalty in like the first minute of this extra time, and Farrell's kick hits the post. It's one that he normally kicks, and you're thinking after the previous kick, right, he's in the zone now, he's going to get it, but he hits the post. It almost goes in off, but not quite. And then Billy Vunipola knocks it on cold straight from the restart, from the French 22 dropout. So it's a good chance for France. They go through a heap of phases, but England win a breakdown penalty. Second half of extra time, eventually, it's like 13 minutes in, England win a breakdown penalty after a pretty long passage of play. And finally, that time, Farrell makes no mistake, and it's 22-19. You can breathe again. Hell of a result, man. If you want finals to be close, especially after all the pre-match stuff about this one being a bit of a farce, with France only having 60-odd caps to the 800 in England, and it was supposed to be a bit of a whitewash, it proved to be a proper final. The stats: Possession finishes 51-49, territory 59-41, both in England's favour, but that second half was 78-22 in England's favour. So France played most of their rugby in that first half. Second half was largely defensive, but credit to them for defending as they did. Defenders beaten finished pretty even, 21-18 in France's favour, but the clean breaks go 4-2 in England's favour. So neither side was really getting those proper clean breaks a heck of a lot. The goal kicking is 6 from 10 from England, as I said, uncharacteristically poor, whereas France were 5 from 5. Turnovers conceded, again, uncharacteristic from England, 17 to France's 8. So they've fumbled and given away a lot of ball in this game. Penalties conceded, though, 16 by France, 9 by England. So, I mean, do you say credit to England for being able to play below their best and still get a win? Maybe you do. Do you give credit to this young French team for stepping up to what's essentially close to the best English team, largely experienced, and giving them an absolute fright? I think Farrell literally had a bloody nose. Absolutely. This bodes very well for France going into 2023, man, with all these pretty talented young guys. Was nice to have the 2,000 fans there. Very, very vocal and very audible, so you could hear them chanting and booing and just getting into the game. It makes a massive difference. Run meters finished 521 to 212, so England definitely had the better of that part of the game. But defensively, France, 88% was their tackling percentage, which is massive. Close to 90 is like top notch. Made 127. England had to make 102 for 83%. So, yeah, Billy V got player of the match. He had like 15 out of 16 tackles, 1-2 turnovers. You know, some big hits from him. He laughed at the end of the game when he was interviewed, saying that Eddie Jones, he was looking forward to, sarcastically, Eddie Jones's review with the guys tomorrow. Eddie kind of shrugged that off in the post-match press conference, but I think he's going to have some tough words for the guys. But they still won, man, so you can't be too critical. Dulin had 56 run meters, 4 defenders beaten. He got his try. He looked really cool, calm, and collected at the back. You know, England are going to put you under a lot of pressure with their kicking, and Dulin was doing pretty well to return with interest at times and control the ball pretty well from the back. So, yeah, Marla put a good tackle on Raka right towards the end of the game, at like 75 minutes. It might have been a try saver. Good to see him back as well. So, entertaining game, man. What can I say? It's a pity I bloody knew the result like 5 minutes from extra time, because I was just starting to think, man, France have got this wrapped up. I probably should have known, because I was watching it on, like it's like a YouTube style, like it's on Sky New Zealand, but the online service, right? So you can skip ahead like on a YouTube video. When it was half time, I could see there's a lot of video to go, so I probably should have known it was going to be a close one, because you can tell it's half time, but we're nowhere near halfway through the total length of that video. But anyway, as I mentioned, the commentary team was really, really pissing me off, because they just were joshing about saying how they don't like kicking. But I think they could probably add a bit more value than that. Anyway, good game, man. Fitting for a final. As I said, England don't play their best, still get to lift the trophy. Well done. France, man, you guys have got young players coming out your ears. You guys are going to be a threat going forward. So, yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts on this one. What did you think of the game? Edge of your seat stuff, for sure. I see England Rugby Store have already got Autumn Nations Cup winning gear out on their website. So if you want to pick up some of that, I'll chuck a link in the description. I think they're having a sale on. They generally are. There's the code 2cents10 if you ever want 10 cents off from that store, selected items. Anyway, yeah, you guys take care, and I'll talk to you soon. See you later.